You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Exploring the multiverse of pop culture.
This is Pod Casserole,
An Adam and JP show.
This episode brought to you by the ESO Amazon store. Find it now at esopodcast.com.
You know, speaking of buying things, you know what I'm afraid and just sad about?
Lots of things.
That is true, but mostly I'm going to...
that we may see a mushroom cloud in the next year.
That's true as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss Free Comic Book Day this year. That bothers me.
Yeah, I'm going to miss it too.
Yeah.
For the same reason.
Exactly, the same reason. We can maybe get the first few hours, maybe. Probably not.
I'm going to try.
Back in the old days, it was a festivities. Stay at the local comic shop for all days, festivities. How many times can I say that word in one sentence? For a Free Comic Book Day.
Right.
I miss it dearly.
Not going to happen.
Not this year.
Nope. You can't do it.
Yeah.
Duty calls. Yeah, so if you want to peruse that Amazon store.
Yeah, do that.
Just go there, esopodcast.com, click the link, and do all your Amazon shopping.
Right.
Adam, you and I had an 80s kind of weekend last weekend.
Did, yeah.
Last Saturday night.
For my wife's birthday party, she chose anything of her liking, and she chose to have an 80s party. It started off, I told you, in the past 2 or 3 months, we've been nose deep into Rock of Love, the dating show featuring Bret Michaels on VH1
From 10 years ago.
Yeah, on Hulu. We've been binging that, and she got into that style.
Yeah, unplugging your cable was the best idea you came up with.
It was.
What are you guys into? Rock of Love?
No, I mean there's totally modern shows on there, but we chose the good stuff, like Rock of Love on VH1 from 2009.
Mm-hmm.
So we watched that, and she got into the 80s rock kind of skanky, trashy look to those girls and thought it was funny.
Right.
So we decided to have, at first it was an 80s rock party, but as time went on, it was just 80s in general. And I was proud of how everyone represented every single facet of the 1980s
That's true.
decade. Really.
That was like totally unplanned.
Yeah.
But everyone's costume, no one dressed the same.
No.
And like you said, every little minutia of the 80s fashion was covered at that party.
We had the 80s geeks, the 80s hip hop, the 80s cool like detective shades look, the 80s dirty rocker, everything.
Everybody was there.
The Madonna look, the even Flock of Seagulls that made an appearance.
That's true, which might have been my favorite.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I found my costume at the Goodwill store.
Really?
$13.
That's awesome.
It was half off Saturday.
Ah, okay. Did you like it? You like the look? Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
The Flock of Seagulls attendee he forgot things, so on the way to my house, he had to stop in at Kroger, dressed in that full garb with the hair up and everything.
See, I was thinking before I came to the party, I can just run by. Nope.
Why not?
Nope.
See, I mean, what you were wearing is cool today is the problem. I'm serious. You thought...
An oversized jacket with
yes,
with shoulder pads?
Yes.
That's not cool today.
And the hair part you thought looked ridiculous? That's what's trendy today.
That is trendy.
Yeah.
But that was how my hair was in the 80s.
Well, it's the thing now.
Parted, like a defined part on the left side, swooped over
when
to
I
the
worked
right.
at the Apple store, 90% of males had that very visible part in their hair.
They were all geniuses?
It's a thing now, yeah.
I guess.
It's back, baby.
Not for me. It's back, baby.
It was fun, though. We had some... 80s games, 80s candy, 80s rock band. It was good.
It was fun.
Even the backdrop of the pictures we have online.
That was a good idea. Because I wanted to put that as my profile picture.
Yeah, do it.
But then it's too good.
What do you mean?
It doesn't look like it's like the single photo.
Yeah.
I could put the group photo.
Yeah.
But the single photo of me,
yeah,
it would look like, who is this guy that went and had an Olin Mills photograph done? I think the photos are so good, the joke is lost a little.
You think so?
Except in the group photos.
Yeah, I'll make it worse next time.
But in the singles, I think it just looks like a really well done photograph.
That's kind of the point. I guess it was too much.
Why is he wearing a detective badge? I was so afraid I was going to get pulled over wearing that thing.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Maybe if you just throw it in the floor.
When I put it on,
I'm
like, what if I get pulled over?
Throw it on the floor.
And the cop's like, what detective are you? I'm not.
What's the costume?
It says special police on the badge.
You weren't going after prostitutes with a Ho Train shirt. It's not that bad.
Go see our Patreon page and hear that story.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Adam, what episode is this? This will be 241?
I've lost count a few times ago.
Like, are we really almost halfway to 500?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're almost 250 episodes long.
That's
just for this iteration.
So what we're trying to do is use our Patreon page to stockpile our archives. But I want to let you know, it's not in chronological order.
Not at all.
Because believe me, that would not be good. So they're selected, it's a selection of archives on the Patreon page. And one is going up this weekend, but it is from our first month of doing a show together.
Really? It's that old, eh?
Right. And there's a whole hour that's going to be up there. We have like a Star Wars interview. I think we have a San Diego Comic-Con special correspondent.
Okay.
In that episode.
Yeah.
When we thought we should do characters, apparently.
That was a thing in 2011.
Maybe not we. When I thought we should do characters, apparently.
Forgot about that.
And then we've referenced this before, and I think we've even put this out in other instances before. But when we started doing podcasting, we decided to do a show about podcasting.
Yeah.
Like an episode where we would actually go onto iTunes and find other podcasts that were out there that we ended up kind of making fun of. That's where this clip comes from.
A little bit of insight, because I do pride myself on being very transparent with all of you.
Is it possible the first one we're going to make fun of, it's a tragedy story?
Be it the Game Heroes,
Could be.
Speaking Geek, or any number of other places. I wanted to let you guys into my life so you know precisely what is going on. So
This better be good.
Yeah, this is going to be
weeks
awkward.
ago, my father,
Oh,
my
no.
grandfather, the
boy.
guy who raised me,
Oh, boy.
had a stroke.
You shouldn't be... This is... Wow.
So I was going to go visit my parents
Oh,
after
I feel horrible.
Okay, so...
and let some of my friends like Scotty or Kelly or Spade.
Oh, and you're naming... Because all those listeners know his personal friends' names. Come on. Okay, so say you have a long day at work. Things aren't going so well, and you were thinking the whole time at work, I can't wait to get home and listen to my favorite podcast or relax a little bit, hear some news, get some jokes, and you play that. How depressed is that going to make you? You have your job.
I just feel bad that we randomly
stroke.
picked someone talking about his father having a
Exactly.
stroke to make fun of.
That's horrible. Bad luck on our part. Bad
choice in
choice on
content.
it. Yeah, that was rough.
Wow.
And now it's time for another special feature.
This is the same thing.
It is. Well, my grandfather had another stroke last week, and
So,
wow.
yeah.
I feel like it's as if I was 11 years old. I feel like my voice was a higher pitch back then.
A little bit. I think part of that was the equipment we were using, too.
Yeah, I feel it sounds higher.
A lot of compression.
Wow.
Well, my dad died.
Well, my dad.
Welcome to the show.
Now, keep in mind, that was 2011, where the top 20 podcasts weren't pre-existing celebrities.
Oh, his dad's definitely dead.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that's where you're going.
No. But that was so simple. I wonder if that podcast still exists.
I don't know.
Do we say the name of it on that show?
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
I think we tried to say names, but then not say names. Because for some reason, some of the names used are bleeped out.
Oh, really?
Later.
What a jerky thing to do. Like our first
I
few
know.
weeks into podcasting, we're making fun of others.
Yeah, let's go make fun of other people.
That's terrible.
Doing a better show than we
We
do.
were bad people back then.
Well, we still kind of are bad people. I'm a horrible person.
That's crazy.
So yeah, if that piqued your interest, go to patreon.com/podcasserole, and coming up this weekend, that will be part of the archives that are available.
It's pretty awesome.
As well as our Patreon exclusive episode from last week about wrestling, Wrestle Chat 2.
Yeah, Wrestle Chat 2.0.
Going into WrestleMania.
And we've kind of gotten back. I mean, I've been watching more wrestling the past few weeks.
I've watched wrestling a lot this week.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. You told me Kurt Angle and the Hardy Boys are back on TV regularly?
Yeah.
That's you've got me right there.
I didn't hate. I watched pretty much all of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
This year. Didn't hate it.
Yeah.
I don't think I hated one match.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad. Yeah. So
I just feel like we talked about this off mic, but I think the network in general, the WWE network, has killed the idea of social wrestling watching. Mm-hmm. It's sad. I mean, for decades, we would gather...
Hey, you want to come to my house?
Yeah. By the dozens, though, we would gather at places to do that.
I'll just watch it on the network.
It's sad, isn't it?
In my garage, late at night,
Sad.
by
When people would have
myself.
big bowls and hats of money to contribute because, they're paying $50, $60, $70 to have this pay-per-view event on their television.
I do miss the Royal Rumble gambling that we would participate in.
But no one does that anymore. Even then, if we didn't want to pay money for it, we would go to a public place. 10 or 12 guys go to Hooters and watch 4 hours of wrestling.
We have been to Hooters.
Yeah.
I remember going to, it wasn't Hooters, but it was some dive bar showing one of the pay-per-views one year. I think I just took it was just me and my wife.
Really?
I was like, hey, this bar's showing like this pay-per-view. We should go. And it was not a pleasant place to be.
But you know what I do miss, honestly? I miss going to our local, well, not local, but on the outskirt of town, the local movie theater that shows the pay-per-views for free on the big screen.
Do they still do that?
Every week, every pay-per-view they do it.
We should go back.
I desperately miss that.
We should go back.
My wife is a big hater of wrestling, and I'm curious if I should take her there or not.
No. But I'll go with you.
Don't you miss Patrick, the character there that was obsessed with John Cena?
Yeah, that he would do the John Cena walks and all that.
But yeah, I mean, 2 years ago, every summer, or every pay-per-view month during that summer, we went to that theater. And this theater, for free, without any question, lets you in for free to watch the pay-per-view on their theater screen, with the idea that you'll buy some kind of concession.
Just don't make it a hot dog.
Yeah.
Because they look at you funny.
That's true.
Hey, can I get a hot dog? Hot dog? Why would we have hot dogs? Because you're a movie theater? That's ridiculous.
I mean, our theater has like chicken tenders and
I
things
know.
like that.
Want some lukewarm nachos? I bet Patrick blew a gasket when John Cena proposed to Nikki Bella.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
I would have too. That would have been great.
So if you don't remember, or maybe you never heard, Patrick, the character we're talking about, is a local guy, kind of a local celebrity, if you would say, at every single one of these pay-per-views at this movie theater, and he will, move for move, emulate what John Cena does. I mean, people expect it. Whenever John Cena comes out in the pay-per-view, they're not watching the movie theater screen. They're watching the entrance of the room where Patrick himself comes in and does the John Cena character.
He goes out the double doors. And then he kind of watches and has one ear waiting for the John Cena music, and then he just pops the doors open and marches out and runs.
And the crowd goes nuts.
Salutes.
The crowd goes wild.
I wonder what he says to the cameraman before he comes down the ramp. What does Patrick say before he comes out? Cena's was pretty funny at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Because the ramp was how many yards?
Oh, man, it was forever.
Was it almost half a football field?
It was at least, I would say.
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy.
Yeah. And he had to go run that entire length.
Yeah.
Almost like, well, here we go with Wrestle Chat again.
No,
sorry.
yeah, sorry.
But almost like Ultimate Warrior at the Silverdome? No. What's the one where maybe it was. No, it must have been 4.
That's probably 4.
When he ran out.
Yeah.
And everybody else, was driven out to the ring because it was so long, and he ran out and was, he was blown up by the time he got to the ring.
Yeah. It may have been 3 because, that's whenever Hogan and Andre went. I don't know, maybe not.
I can't remember.
He's done it every time though.
My wrestling knowledge is starting to escape
Triple H was
me.
smart because he had the motorcycle ride. So that's enough Wrestle Chat.
That was a good entrance.
That was good. They always are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we have a sister show called Collection Connection.
That's
we love
true.
it.
We do.
Hosted by Josh and Mike, and I wouldn't say there's bad blood between the shows. I wouldn't even say there's disagreements between the shows.
There's just blood.
Yeah, there's just blood between the shows. But if you go and listen to the latest episode of Collection Connection, they talk about Jim and the holograms. Truly outrageous.
Truly.
Show's over, Synergy.
Which they gave me a personal message on the show, and they're totally right. I've never seen that show in my life.
Right.
I'm aware of how it works. I know what the show's about. I even have Samantha Newark's number in my phone, but I've never seen her show. I do.
That's odd.
It's a long story.
So if you go and listen to this last episode, at one point in the episode, they reminisce about a previous episode of Collection Connection.
And it's clearly one of those shows, too. Hasbro had a plan because they sandwiched Jim in between 2 boys shows.
Sure.
You had Bigfoot and the Monster Machines, you had Jim and the Holograms, and then you had Robotics.
Right.
So that was, I think, in our area.
Or if you, according to me, Robotix.
I was not going to say that. JP still, he's still laughing about that.
I'll occasionally, we'll just be sitting there or something, and he'll be like, hey, man, you watched Robotix lately?
The beauty of that is that's not going away, Josh.
No.
That'll be on your tombstone. Josh, he loved Robotix.
He loved him some Robotix.
Yeah.
I've never said that to Josh.
You haven't said that before?
I've never said that.
You plan to
He's
now?
making up stuff. He's just making it up.
Alternative facts?
What I did say was...
Fake news?
It is fake news. Hashtag fake news, Collection Connection. What I did say was, if there was a cartoon called Robotix, I would watch it every week.
It sounds fun. It's like Beetleborgs. Robotix, Beetleborgs.
In all fairness to Josh, if you were to see the word and not know what it was, and it was Robotix, you might be compelled to say Robotix.
That's true.
I mean, I wasn't, but one might.
Yeah, it's true, though. There was an old Sega Saturn and PS1 video game called Robo Pit. You pronounce it Robo Pit. It wasn't Robopit.
There's a good. Was there a hyphen though?
A space, but it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, this is all one word. I think it is all one word,
It
right?
is. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter though.
Yeah.
Can I go back really quickly to having strange people's and celebrities' numbers in my phone? I've got a weird story this past week.
Uh-oh.
Does
this have to do with any SNL alum that I may be aware of?
No, it does not. Going back to our 80s party,
Okay.
I had problems and troubles.
Did you try to get First Jason to come play?
Accidentally, that happened. That's funny you bring him up. So I forget how it worked, but I was having troubles posting on either Facebook or Twitter, some social media thing from my computer. So I had the idea to send it from my phone, my computer. Anyways, it got mixed up somehow. I was going to send the picture to myself through a text message, right? From my computer to me. But somehow I hit a wrong button. Instead of going to Adam, I went to Ari, which is Ari Lehman. So randomly I sent our friend Steven, his girlfriend Casey was there at the party. And so I sent Ari Lehman a picture of her in front of our 80s backdrop.
I cannot wait to hear his response.
Yeah, he hasn't responded yet. I hope he doesn't.
Wow.
But
That's probably not his number.
You don't think so anymore?
Ari Lehman strikes me as the type that has a lot of burner phones.
It's probably so. But I was like, so I sent the first Jason Voorhees a picture of my friend's girlfriend.
Yeah, Ari Lehman, the first actor to play Jason Voorhees.
Yeah.
The kid.
Yeah.
Like officially Jason Voorhees.
Officially first time you ever see Jason. That's Ari Lehman.
Not in The Mask.
Yeah.
Not good Jason.
Yeah.
Like Mongoloid Jason.
Like Tom Savini Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now he travels the world with his rock band, First Jason.
It's a good band.
Jason is watching you.
Machete kills. It's good.
Well, I accidentally texted my boss a picture this week.
Was it? What was it rated?
It was fine.
Oh,
It was a screenshot that I meant to send my wife about tornado watch in her area, and I sent it to him, and then I was like, "Oops."
At least that's a good one to send him accidentally.
Yeah. Now I had someone else. Oh, this is a great story.
What's that?
Someone I worked with that I still work with. They got divorced, and then had met someone, and and the way I understand it, they met them through a social media outlet. And so she was in a different area. He was still local. And one Saturday night, I'm just sitting at home. Like, my wife wasn't even home. I don't know. I was by myself. So I'm just sitting at home watching TV, and I get a text message from this guy. And I'm like, oh, well, this is odd for him to text me on the weekend. I wonder what's up. And I don't remember the exact words, but it was along the lines of, I can't wait for you to come into town, and then I'll show you how much I missed you. I honestly think it was a little more graphic than that. Because I remember my response is, hey, that's fine, but we work together, and it could be a little awkward.
That's pretty good.
And then, like 5 minutes later, sorry. And it's never come up again.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fat fingers.
Yeah, awkward text message interactions are bad.
Get you every time.
Yeah.
Hey, so I was thinking, we did our favorite songs of the year 1999 last year.
Yeah. Last year?
Or last week.
It could have been last year, too.
Maybe last year. I don't know. And I meant to ask you this when we were talking about CD players. And I remember when I bought my first CD player, I also bought a CD from the guy that I bought the player from.
Yeah.
So my first purchase was actually a CD player and my first CD.
So you bought like a slightly used CD player?
Oh, yeah. It was gently used.
Oh, gently.
And a gently used CD.
Wow.
Yeah. I think he needed money for cigarettes or something.
Was this off the side of the street?
That's
like
what we'll
like
say.
Table
cigarettes. No, he was a friend of mine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was like I went to high school with him.
I remember those days when you just like meet up somewhere and give someone something for money.
Yeah.
And it wasn't drugs.
Most of the time. Do you remember your first CD?
I do, yeah.
I'm going to let you play yours.
Okay.
And then I'll play a bit of my first CD for you.
Okay. So this CD came out in 1990, but I got it about 1992, and that was Kid and Play's Funhouse album, actually.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear this.
Take the fine time to leave me, Lucille. For hungry brats and crops.
I don't feel so bad about mine now.
Take the fine time to leave me.
So it starts off with this, but goes into your normal Kid and Play jam.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah. Isn't that cool? It's a good beat. 1990 hip-hop. Nothing better.
It still sounds great.
Yeah. So you're telling me that wasn't a Kid and Play original, that first part of that?
No. was Kenny Rogers Lucille.
It's fun until a few seconds ago. I really had no idea.
You never knew that?
No, I had no idea.
Until you got here today.
If you would have told me, if you would have sang that song, I'm like, oh, couldn't play.
No, it was Kenny Rogers. Lucille.
But this was the Funhouse album featuring the hit single Funhouse from the motion picture soundtrack House Party. Did you ever
Play had a nice little run there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch the House Party movie series?
I've seen the first one.
I used to love those movies. Yeah, man. So good.
Oh,
It's taking me back.
Like, just to look in your eyes. It's just like pure joy. It's ridiculous.
That's the first condom I ever saw. I thought it was a piece of bubble gum.
And then the Kid and Play movie.
Yeah, I remember it snapped. It was so old. He brought it out of his wallet and it snapped.
I've seen it. I probably can't break it down scene by scene like you can.
Wow, my bad.
Plays on the mic, asking, will I rock? Feel the force of 10,000.
So that's not a bad choice for
What's Kid and Play's big hit?
Maybe Funhouse.
No, they had another one.
Did they?
Yeah. We'll look it up.
That's fine.
So like I said, I bought my first CD player.
Yeah.
And bought a CD from the same guy. And it turns out this is from the first CD I ever owned.
Oh boy. Wait.
Do you recognize this at all?
I do not.
Niggas in the corner.
Man, I love this song so much when it was out.
Running from a bad home.
I still kind of like this song. Still no clue, huh?
Nope, not at all.
Neon lights.
Maybe when it gets to the chorus.
Haunt the streets outside. She says, stay with me. Beautiful girl, stay with me. Beautiful girl, stay with me.
No idea.
Nick Sess.
Wow. I've never heard this song before. I know them.
It was their Welcome to Wherever You Are CD.
Never heard of that song in my life.
Yeah, it was my first CD I ever bought.
What year was that? Do you remember?
Yeah, bought used.
What year did you get that? Do you remember?
1992.
Yeah, that was my year.
Oddly enough. Probably, it might have been early 1993.
So I won mine. We had, in my elementary school, we had a little program called the Foxtrot. You may have had this in your school as well in the grade school years. You would basically have a physical competition to see how many laps you could run in the track, and you get people, your neighbors, family members, to give you pledges how much they would give you per lap you ran or walked. And so, if someone pledges $2 per lap, you run 10 laps, they owe you $20 for the fundraiser. And whoever raised the most money, the top 10 people of the grade, got to come down from the assembly program in the gymnasium, and a whole line of prizes were lined up, and you got to pick donated items. And so I picked my Sanyo CD player, my boombox.
Oh, wow.
That's how I got my first CD player.
I bet it wasn't as good as a JVC Kaboom
No,
box.
it was a Sanyo boombox.
That was your first.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I bought mine
from
a buddy who needed cigarettes.
Was it like a portable Walkman, or was it like a big boomboxy kind of thing?
No, it wasn't a boombox. It was kind of rectangular shaped, and like I said, it was supposed to be like a mobile CD player, but it wasn't as small as a Walkman.
Okay. Oh yeah.
And it was not very good.
Have a handle on? Any handle at all?
No handles.
Wow.
And you knew you would lay it flat.
Yeah. Do you remember the brand of?
It was about the size of like the old school cassette recorders. You remember those?
Oh yeah. Weird.
Yeah.
Weird. But the old brand of not really a boombox, but and not even like an entertainment system, but the big console with a tape player and the CD deck and had the two external speakers. But for a decade, the biggest brand of that was AIWA. Was it Iowa? I guess you would say that, but that was a huge brand.
Yeah.
All my friends had this fantastic setup of Iowa stuff. I was so jealous of.
I got the latest Iowa gear, dude.
I looked at that brand up. That was huge for 10 years.
It was.
But I haven't seen a mention of it in the past 15. But Iowa was huge. I used to love those things.
I remember exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you could take the speakers off of it. And,
yeah.
Only the rich kids had those.
Yeah, I never had that. I had my Sanyo, my Foxtrot boombox with a handle.
It was called the Foxtrot? Oh, well, you wanted the Foxtrot.
Yeah.
We had cakewalks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the same idea? Is that when you grab the cake?
Yeah, you pay for numbers.
You sit on it?
Pay to be in it.
Uh-huh.
And then you walk around, and then they draw a number, and then the music stops, and if you're on the number that they drew, then you won that prize.
Oh. But not an actual cake.
Oh, well, I mean,
sometimes
I'm sure there could be pastries.
Yeah, pastries.
I think when I was in elementary school, it actually was pastries.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
like cakes and pies.
Wow.
I did a pie walk.
Wow. The old honey bun walk down.
Oh, I've done that many, many times. That's used to how I used to start my day with the honey bun walk down.
I'm going to give you some Adam and JP trivia. Do you know what we've unanimously said the greatest tasting honey bun of all time, where that came from?
The greatest tasting honey bun of all time.
You and I both found this vending machine with a honey bun. We said this, out of all of our years of research and this beautiful treat, this is the best tasting honey bun we ever had.
The Hotel Preston near the airport in Nashville.
There you go. Good plug. Good plug. We went to a convention there in 2013, I believe, and the Hotel Preston had the best honey buns I've ever had.
Those were delicious honey buns. And we didn't even heat them up.
No.
Yeah, that was just straight out of the vending machine.
Yeah, that was a good bun.
Maybe we were just hungry.
Possible.
I bet our blood sugar was super low.
Yeah, it's possible.
Because it had probably dropped from the shit that we'd eaten earlier in the day.
But one of the radio station we used to work had some good stuff too, though.
Yeah, the radio station did have some good honey buns.
That was a good bun.
Uh-huh. I'd eat 2, 3 in the morning.
This is the Honey Bun Cast with Adam and JP.
We've got our favorite movie characters from the 1970s coming up.
We do. That's a fun topic.
Before we get to that, you could win something very cool on our Twitter account.
Yeah, you could. So we love Mad Balls here on Pod Casserole. You know this by now. We have a special sealed.
We?
I do?
Well, I do love mine.
You see? You love that. You have the rarest of the rare right there. So they have the sealed Mad Ball grab bags right now, blind bags. You have no idea what's inside of those, but we have the inside scoop to know what's inside of these bags. So we know for sure we have a sealed blind bag Mad Ball with the ultra rare glow-in-the-dark neon yellow skull face, and that can be yours if you check out Twitter at Pod Casserole. Give us a retweet.
At Adam and JP.
Oh, it is, yes. At Adam and JP. Still figuring that part out.
That's okay.
At the show _ radio. What used to be?
No.
I'm thinking of the old.
Now I'm confused.
The old handles. Yes, at Adam and JP on Twitter. Follow us there. Give us a retweet of that pinned tweet up top. Give it a like, a retweet, and you're entered to win that blind bag Mad Ball of the ultra rare glow in the dark skull face.
Can I win it and have 2?
No.
Okay.
Is it bad? I may have a reserve in my house of these, just ready to hand out as process.
The same one.
Yeah, is that bad?
And you get a Mad Ball.
But it's ultra rare.
Everybody look under your chairs.
So if you go to each store, each Walmart or Target, at most you'll have a big bundle, a big rack full of these. At most you'll find one per box they deliver to each store.
And so you've got them all.
I've got them all. It's a big deal to have this at your pickings.
You are single-handedly, you're like China in the world economy.
The wrestler or the country?
The country.
Okay.
You are manipulating the Mad Ball market.
It's possible, yeah.
Because you have all those.
That's very possible. But you could have your own at Adam and JP on Twitter. Just give us a retweet of that pinned tweet, and you're in the running. We have one more week of that contest for you to win the ultra-rare Skullface Mad Ball.
And then we'll secretly draw a winner.
Yep. And announce it to the world and ship it to you free of charge.
We're going to draw a winner and not announce it.
We have quite a few people, 6, 7, 8 or so have entered, but I don't know if they know about the contest.
Yeah.
Check out at Adam and JP.
Because this is the first time we've talked about it on the show.
Exactly, yeah. Just kind of there. You know how Twitter works. I mean, if you follow 2,000 people, good luck seeing somebody's tweets. You got to pay for that stuff these days, and we don't pay for that. We pay for Mad Balls.
And while you're online and you're listening to the show, take a second and go and rate and review our show.
Yeah, we had
on iTunes.
A few new this week. That's good.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't looked.
Yeah, they're all positive, of course. It's good.
Yeah, don't do it if you don't have anything nice to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can rate and review our show on iTunes, and that helps other people find it and all that good stuff.
I have noticed for the most part, the podcast community is much different than any of the other thing online. If you have a bad experience at a restaurant, those are the people most likely to go on and bitch about that online at a review site, but almost every single podcast, for the most part, it's all positive.
Right.
You hardly ever see a negative. I don't want to jinx us here, but not just ours, but any podcast I see, reviews are mostly always positive. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Review us on iTunes, not on Yelp.
Yes, exactly.
No Yelp reviews.
Difference of feels. Don't give me a TripAdvisor review. That's not good.
Our favorite movie characters of the 1970s.
Next.
Hello, Marvel Universe! The Earth Station MCU podcast is your home for all things related to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Join our debrief as we discuss Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agent Carter, upcoming and past favorite Marvel movies, cosplay, comics history, toys, games, interviews, and all things MCU. Whether you're a hero or a villain, a new viewer, or have been reading comics since you were a kid, there's something for you on Earth Station MCU.
swear, this girl with the dirty mouth, she wasn't bad looking, but you see, none of the guys ever took her serious, you see? They never took her out for any serious date.
Why?
Because that's the way guys are. They laugh when you talk dirty, they think you're cute. But after a while, you get a reputation, that's it. You get no respect, you understand? You get no respect. I gotta use a bad word. Whore. You understand? Whore.
You know, if Rocky Balboa was a real life person, I would seek life advice from him.
Yeah, little Marie did. So can you.
You know what I love about that scene is, 25 years later, we would revisit that relationship between Rocky
awesome?
and Little Marie.
And what a major callback for fans.
Yeah.
Like a small, maybe 2-minute clip from the first movie, like you said, almost 3 decades prior, that comes back. That's awesome.
Yeah, and Rocky Balboa.
Yeah.
He befriends that character, all grown up.
Yeah.
And doesn't really date her.
No, just kind
of friends.
Yeah, just a friendship.
Yeah. So I pulled the Rocky clip because I assumed Rocky was probably on both of our lists if we're doing our favorite movie characters from the 1970s.
I mean, out of the 10 years we have to choose from, this is one of the Best Picture award winners that decade. So you have to talk about Rocky Balboa, 1976, by Sly Stallone himself. I mean, this character, not that this means a lot. We'll talk about these later on, I'm sure, but this character alone, with the same actors, same betrayal, same story arc to it, has 7 installments under his belt. And that's got to mean something.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you can say the same for a lot of bad franchises out there, but for the most part, these are all enjoyable and quality installments. So Rocky Balboa, not only in the 70s, but I believe he deserves to be the top characters of all time.
So, we didn't mention this. Yeah. This is actually going to be an anthology of Pod Casserole.
Yeah.
We're going to do the 70s today. On Tuesday shows, we'll do the 80s. Mm-hmm. Next Friday, the 90s, and then the following Tuesday, 2000 and 2010s.
Right.
I figure we could probably group those together.
We probably could, yeah.
Since we're so close.
Yeah.
I mean, undoubtedly, Rocky Balboa is one of the greatest characters in film history.
I would say
probably.
so. Now, it should be a disclaimer for all of my people in these lists for the next few weeks. In this case, clearly, I love the character, but it doesn't mean the character is great in my eyes. I think it's just iconic in general.
Right.
You put on a sweatsuit and scream, Adria, and everyone's going to know you're talking about Rocky Balboa. And that's iconic, and that's memorable to me. What do you think makes him so memorable? Is it the realism? Where this is a time in the mid-'70s, right before Star Wars comes out, or post-Star Trek, there's, crazy action stars and a lot of weird things in the political society, but you have this guy on the streets of Philadelphia trying to find himself, and almost in the twilight of his youth, trying to follow his dream, and finally makes it last minute. Is that a draw to most people? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think it's set. It certainly wasn't the first underdog movie,
yeah, right?
But it certainly brought a new twist to it. And you're right, it was very real. And I mean, while we're on the subject, I'll just go ahead and tell you that on my list of one of my favorite characters from the 1970s is from Rocky. It's not Rocky, but it's Paulie.
I don't want nothing from you. I don't want nothing from you. This ain't no charity case. Get out of my house.
It's not just your house.
You're no friend no more. Get out of my house, I just said.
Don't talk to him like that.
Both of you get out of my house.
And, Paulie is one of my favorite movie characters. And he's not really a likable guy, but you can't help but feel for him.
Once again, that realism comes in.
Exactly. And I think that's one of the reasons why Rocky is such a great character. Because in that first movie, it was just, the 70s was an era of really brave filmmaking. And a different kind of filmmaking than we had seen before, as evident in some other names, character names. They're going to come up on our list. And filmmakers did kind of go for that gritty realism feel. That is a tough scene to watch.
Oh, yeah.
That the Paulie scene, when he grabs the bat and tries to kick Rock out of the house and then ends up, beating up everything in his home while Silent Night is playing in the background.
I mean, he's one of his closest, dearest friends, almost like a brother, but in a way he hates him. Rocky is what everything Adrian wants to be. He's successful, he's fit, he has goals, knows where he wants to be in life, and on top of that, he's dating his sister. It's like, I don't know how much more hatred you can get. At the same time, though, it's his best friend. It's kind of a tough dichotomy there.
Yeah, I think Paulie never found his calling in life and never found his way, and is forced to live vicariously through his sister and ultimately Rocky Balboa. And he's cool with that as long as Rocky is successful,
right?
As you see through the films. But I don't know. In Rocky 3, when I guess Rocky Balboa was probably at the height of his career, Paulie gets jealous again.
The pinball.
Yeah, the pinball machine. The infamous pinball machine.
Yeah.
And he's just overwhelmed with jealousy. But then he's always there for Rock up until the end. And you kind of see, not to spoil anything, but Rocky Balboa is Paulie's last movie. And it's sad. It's a sad ending for that
scene
character.
in Creed where he's at Adrian and Paulie's.
See, that's what gets me about these movies too. Is there isn't really a happy ending in the overall story.
I mean, that's life. People
Yep.
start from nothing. If you, at the best of scenarios, you achieve your dreams. But no matter what, everyone gets older and everyone will die eventually.
Yeah.
It's a story of life. I mean, I may be going deeper than we should with the Rocky story, but that's how I see this. It's from the rise up and the downfall. It's a roller coaster, literally.
And so we got Rocky, we got Paulie, two characters from the Rocky films,
Yeah.
the first of which in the 1970s. Who's next on your list?
I've got to say, if we're going the big hitters at first, I love Rocky, but I also love some Star Wars. And you think Star Wars, you think the iconic character of Luke Skywalker himself, first seen in 1977's Episode 4.
Okay.
You don't agree with that?
Well, I love Mark Hamill.
Right.
I think in that first Star Wars movie, given the fact that
But he is the main character.
He is the main character.
Yeah.
You can't deny that. He's a very heroic character, albeit a bit whiny at times.
So I wasn't alive back then, but I think that idea of him has happened throughout the past few decades. I want to say back in 77, I don't think people saw him as whiny. They saw him as their knight in shining armor, I think.
Maybe.
But I would imagine back then it wasn't that idea. I think looking back, we're like, that guy's kind of whiny. But at the time, he's a badass taking down the Empire.
I don't think he's a badass. I think the badass. Well, I'll hold that thought for a second. Let's talk about.
I know where you're going. I enjoy that character more, but I think Luke Skywalker's pretty important.
I don't think you enjoy the character I'm about to say more.
Oh, okay.
Luke Skywalker. Here's the thing. He could have been everything that you're describing.
Yeah.
I think with better direction.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
You blame?
And I don't blame Mark Hamill.
You blame the flannel beard for this?
A little bit. A little bit. But that doesn't take away from the greatness of the movie and what the movie created, obviously. But yeah, I think Mark Hamill's performance in Star Wars is a bit community theater.
Oh, you think so?
At times.
Yeah.
Which is fun. I mean, it's still a great movie. But if you want to look to a hero in the Star Wars movies, if you want to look for the guy that you want to root for, then you got to look for the guy that pilots the Millennium Falcon. That'd be Han Solo. He is the hero. And here's the difference. And Adam, I'm going to tell you the difference. What Harrison Ford was able to do that character was overcome the direction of George Lucas. Because,
That's true.
Because Harrison Ford was a more seasoned actor.
Yeah, he from the stories I hear, he kind of ran his own boat.
Yeah. So he was able, to me, Han Solo is the best character of that first Star Wars movie.
Really?
Of A New Hope.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Han Solo.
Jeez.
All day, every day.
Wow.
If you say best character from the first Star Wars movie, Han Solo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
But maybe not my favorite character.
You think?
Which I think we agree on that one.
Right. So we'll stick with Star Wars. I mean, there's a lot of great characters to it. We have to pick the most memorable, and not only in Star Wars or in the 70s, but if you told someone to name their top 3 movie villains of all time, I think you'd have to put Darth Vader in that list.
The circle is now complete. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
Only a master of evil, Darth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you like to cheer for the bad guy every now and then, and Darth Vader is the ultimate bad guy.
Yeah.
Don't believe me? How long ago was The New Hope?
77.
Go to Walmart. You're going to find something with Darth Vader on it.
Oh, yeah.
Today.
Oh, yeah.
In 2017.
But not only that, but the whole story of Star Wars from Episode 4 until now, it's all Anakin Skywalker's story for the most part.
Wait a minute. So this year marks the 40th anniversary of Star Wars? Oh, wow.
Crazy, right?
That's crazy. Well, I didn't go see it in theaters originally.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's crazy.
I was a little young to go do that.
Yeah.
But, Darth Vader performed in the suit by David Prowse, but voiced by James Earl Jones.
Right.
And honestly, I think that is what makes this character so memorable, is what James Earl Jones was able to bring to the voice of Darth Vader.
Right. There's a documentary on Netflix, I believe, called I'm Not Your Father. Have you seen that? The story of David Prowse himself and that whole, just the growing up of him and his bodybuilding days to when he got the role as Darth Vader, and how he was promised the role of Darth Vader not only physically but also vocally. He was told he would be the voice of Darth Vader.
Really?
And there's footage back there of him speaking under the mask, and they would go on, in theory later on, and overdub it with David Prowse's voice. And as time went on, they wanted a deeper, darker tone, a darker, deeper voice. And David Prowse's voice was not what they wanted. Mm-hmm. So George Lucas goes in almost, unbeknownst to David Prowse himself, and got the real voice of James Earl Jones. And David Prowse to this day is pissed off about that. Still.
Well,
but have you heard the actual audio?
Yes, I have.
It's funny of hearing his voice. It's very
through the mask. Well, first of all, it's through the mask.
yeah,
which isn't fair,
right? Because they were going to ban him, I believe.
Yeah, I
think some overdubbing going on.
But ultimately, that was one of the better choices made for that movie was to have James Earl Jones be the voice of Darth. It is iconic.
Yeah,
I don't want to be that guy, but it reminds me of one of my favorite episodes of The Simpsons.
Oh wow.
I forget what the setup was, but I know the joke was it was James Earl Jones, and so you see like Darth Vader pop up, and he's like, "Luke, I am your father."
Yeah,
and then it's like, what was that? What was Simba's dad from Lion King?
Mufasa.
Mufasa, yeah, and then it's Mufasa. He's like, "Simba, I am your father."
Yeah,
and then you just see the CNN logo pop up, and this is CNN.
That's funny.
Which CNN still uses his voice.
They still do?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you'll see like the little cut-ins
in
between commercials, and it'll be James Earl Jones.
Wow.
This is CNN.
This is Field of Dreams.
To go way off on a tangent, when MSNBC signed on in the early 90s, their original network voice, Dee Snider from Twisted Sister.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
I could be wrong, but politically, isn't that totally not what he is? I thought he was the other wing over there.
Yeah, but when he does straight voice work,
yeah,
it sounds really good.
Wow.
I think work is work.
Yeah.
So if they wanted me to voice stuff for MSNBC, I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah. That's funny.
You listening, Rachel Maddow? Give me a call.
Call me up, Rach.
I'm gonna go with another historic movie from the 70s to pick one of my favorite characters from, and I think we both have characters from this movie on our list. I'm going to go with Jaws, and the character of Quint is one of my favorite characters of all time.
I'll catch this bird for you, but it ain't going to be easy. Bad fish. Not like going down the pond chasing bluegills or tommycods. This shark, swallow you whole. Shaking, tenderizing, down you go. And we got to do it quick. That'll bring back the tourists. That'll put all your businesses on a paying basis. But it's not going to be pleasant. I value my neck a lot more than $3,000, Chief. I'll find him for $3, but I'll catch him and kill him for $10.
Robert Shaw's portrayal of Quint from Jaws. Every time this guy's on the screen, it's great in that movie.
It is, yeah.
And in at times, he's given dialogue that could fall apart, such as that speech. And under the direction of Steven Spielberg, every time he's in the movie, almost it's an iconic piece of film history.
True,
honestly, I think.
Agreed.
From when he's talking about the USS Indianapolis to the song that he sings, and Quint is a great character, historic character from the 1970s.
I've got to follow up with that. Maybe the only animatronic character on my list of both of these lists, but I think Jaws belongs on there.
I don't have any dialogue from Jaws.
Yeah, it's all right. Jaws is iconic.
So I'm just going to do this while you talk.
That counts as a character itself. There you go.
No, keep talking.
No, that's Jaws, the character. Even if you ride the ride at Universal Studios, that character is there of Jaws, and it's still kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
Just the idea of a big shark. It's laughable now, but at the time, Jaws was an iconic character. If you drew a picture of a big shark, people would point out and say Jaws.
He definitely changed the way that people looked at the ocean.
Oh, yeah.
And sharks in general.
Yeah.
Especially great white sharks. I don't have a problem with that. Mm-hmm. I think the shark from Jaws can be one of the greatest movie characters of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally down with that.
No, that's good.
Next on my list is I'm going to get to some of them that you could guess would be some of my favorite characters from the 70s. Christopher Reeve as Superman.
Right. Good evening, Warden. I think these two men should be safe here with you now till they can get a fair trial.
Who is it, Superman?
Lex Luthor, the greatest criminal mind of our time.
Of our time? I hereby serve notice.
He's serving notice to you.
That these walls.
Here.
Will you shut up, please, you?
All right, take him away,
Fool,
boys.
you. Don't hit me now.
This country is safe again, Superman. Thanks to you.
No, sir. Don't thank me, Warden. We're all part of the same team. Night.
Well, no, you picked this on your own accord, so why the heavy sigh there?
Oh, no, 'cause it's actually a sigh
A good sigh? Oh, the days of happy, joyous Superman?
Yes,
There we go.
exactly.
Okay.
When Superman could actually be fun to watch on screen.
Superman is awake during the day. What's the problem here? Why is he outside in the sunlight? What does it even mean? There's no rain, no dusk.
No, he's just collecting bad guys and taking them back to prison.
Yeah.
We're on the
Weird,
same
huh?
team, Warden.
Yeah, weird.
Dun, 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 dun. Clearly, a different time, a different portrayal of Superman, going more towards the, flying Boy Scout interpretation of Superman. Given that that's what they were going for with this first movie, Christopher Reeve is Superman.
Yeah.
Clark Kent and Superman, and he also did a good job separating Clark Kent and Superman.
That's true. He had the look down.
He definitely
even
did.
so much now, like it or not, even someone like Brandon Routh is channeling, like you said before, their inner Christopher Reeve to look like that character.
I think as we've gotten further away from now, I'll always go to bat for Superman the movie and say it's one of the best comic book movies of all time. I won't make that. Superman 2's pretty good. After that, they pretty much fall apart. But over the last 10 years or so, I've really, especially over the last 5, I've kind of grown to really appreciate Brandon Routh's Superman.
Yeah.
And Superman Returns.
If you like that Reeve style.
Because that was the last time we saw a hopeful Superman on screen.
Yeah. He's smiling weird.
Yeah. He actually, is going after bad guys and doing Superman things. And,
the days.
He just doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And now he's dead.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll come back.
Probably so.
Justice League.
We've had teasers of the black suits. We'll see.
Does anybody really want to see that?
No. You were still fighting the good fight until a few. I mean, last I heard of you, you were excited about the movie still.
I'm still excited about the movie.
Yeah.
But, now we've been backed in a corner. Now we have to see, we've seen the death of Superman. Now we have to see the return of Superman.
Yeah.
But was that necessary? No.
To kill him off?
No, it wasn't necessary.
No. I think the stories have to be told to some people. There were people in that theater when we saw that had no idea that Doomsday would kill Superman.
Go read a comic book.
Some people had no idea. That came out 20 years ago, man.
I guess.
We know it. We love it. We have multiple bad copies that are worth 3 cents a piece. Some people haven't read that story before.
Still in plastic.
Yeah, exactly.
With a Superman armband.
I thought that was going to pay for my grandkids' college tuition.
Not so much.
Not at all.
Not so much, buddy. Christopher Reeve's Clark Kent Superman from Superman the movie.
Yeah.
One of my favorite characters.
You know I love horror. You know I love 70s horror, and it all began in 1974 with Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Gunnar Hansen played the character. Once again, one of those ideas.
Would you like me to do a chainsaw sound effect?
Sure, there you go. We have many installments and iterations of the Leatherface character, but this is the original, the one that started it all. And I think, love or hate this character, people, just fans of horror in general, have to give this character respect for kind of doing what it did. This was pre-Halloween, pre-Friday the 13th, pre-Nightmare on Elm Street, things we'll talk about soon, I'm sure, but this was just dirty, gritty, nasty horror. And it's just, some people have in their head it's a very gross and gory movie, but
it's not the first one.
Not at all. It's all what's in your head. And that character of Leatherface is so terrifying. Just the visuals of it give you nightmares. To this day, we talk about it a lot. You go to any haunted attraction, and a chainsaw will start up, and because of the character Leatherface, you're terrified. Just the sound of a chainsaw, a tool that is meant to pretty much take down trees.
There's no argument about the iconic status of Leatherface.
Yeah.
I mean, you just can't argue
I feel like in the horror icons, he always gets left out, and that bothers me, but he belongs up top.
Everybody's always like, Freddy!
Yeah, Jason and Freddy. And like, sometimes
Michael Myers.
Sometimes some Chucky.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
But let's forget
if
Leatherface.
you're really stretching it, Chucky.
Yeah. But Leatherface all day
Sometimes the Ghoulies.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go the horror route for my next one, and I think this might be on your list too. And it's got to be because this movie. Now we've kind of entered for a long time. Everyone was like, "Oh yeah, it's one of the scariest movies ever." Now we've kind of entered a phase where people kind of bag on this movie, like, "Oh, it's not that scary." Still scary to me. It's still scary to me. Damn it. That's the original Exorcist and Linda Blair as Reagan.
I cast you out! Unclean spirit!
Shove it up your ass!
In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ! It is he who commands you! Begone! In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit!
Reagan is one of the scariest movies or characters ever from a movie.
Well, that yeah.
I mean, right after that,
man.
she does the head turn, then the pea soup, and then the spider walk.
Oh man, ugh. That's crazy stuff.
The Exorcist gets me.
Yeah,
like, the Exorcist is, and maybe that's just what I find scary.
Yeah,
and that's those stories like that mix horror and religion and history and that sort of thing.
If you listen to our friends at the Yes Have Some podcast, they have stories of Linda Blair at conventions now, and she won't either mention or even sign things at all from that movie series. You bring pictures of her or statues or toys, she'll make you leave the line. She won't sign it.
Is it a religious thing?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. They don't really know her themselves, but she has her handlers see that you're holding something from that franchise and you're turned away. And she won't sign,
So she went through some sort of personal spiritual awakening that she doesn't want to be associated with that.
I believe so. But, I mean, you have to understand she's going to these conventions to see fans that know her from that franchise and that character, but she declines to use that character in any way for a profit.
Why else would they be there?
Exactly.
What else did
Repossessed,
she do?
maybe?
I'll sign the Repossessed stuff, but not The Exorcist.
That's weird.
Because she did The Exorcist 2
Mm-hmm.
a few years later.
Yeah.
I don't think she was in the third one.
I don't think so.
No.
But yeah, they have stories in the podcast of taking stuff to a convention, waiting in line for quite a while of statues and toys. And apparently there's a guy checking the line to see what you have to be signed. It's approved or disapproved. And somehow they make it past that. And she sees this. And who lets you bring this up here? And he gives them the
then she got all mad.
Finger wag, yeah. And they got their money, but they couldn't get it signed. She wouldn't sign it.
Wow.
She turned them away.
Yeah, I mean,
it's crazy, right?
To me, it sounds like she's missing out on a lot of money.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I mean, if I was going to meet Linda Blair, she wouldn't even talk about it.
I mean, as soon as she saw what it was, she made them leave.
If you're a fan and you're gonna have a conversation with Linda Blair, what else are you going to talk about?
Right.
Other than your experience making that first Exorcist, because at such a young age, had to be kind of a traumatic experience for her.
I'm sure. I think they did a pretty all right job of hiding. I don't know. Maybe.
I do know that there are, and if you are familiar with The Exorcist, then you may know what I'm talking about. There are scenes where they had, the possessed girl do some things that Linda Blair wasn't even on set for that.
Yeah, what I'm always been curious about is the things she says. She didn't say them, of course. It was a voiceover, but her mouth had to move it. So they had to find different terms. Like your mother flips cups in hell.
Oh, wait a minute. Or like the old Saturday Night Live sketch.
Yeah, which one?
With Richard Pryor.
Yeah,
where he's playing the Exorcist, the assistant to the Exorcist, and the bed flies up, and he's like, "The bed is on my foot." And so she repeats it, "The bed is on my foot." And then she looks at him and he says, "Your mother's so socks that smell."
Ah, see, there we go. Yeah, like that. So
your mother so socks that smell.
Because her mouth is mouthing it. But there's no way she said that, I'm sure. They would
I don't
feed
know.
a 13-year-old those lines, would they?
I don't know. It's
possible.
Yeah, but yeah, Reagan, one of the scariest characters ever from film history, I think.
Agreed. I'm a big fan of Stanley Kubrick, and he has many characters that are iconic.
Oh, wow.
But maybe my favorite...
Is this the most deranged character on your list?
No, this may not be what you think, or maybe it is. I don't know, but I never saw this movie, and I stayed away from it. It had no interest to me until the film school years, and we had to watch it. But 1971, A Clockwork Orange comes out, and Alex, the main character, the violence-loving, super violence-loving, milk-drinking bad guy that everyone loves.
Malcolm McDowell.
Yeah, Malcolm McDowell.
Yeah.
1971's A Clockwork Orange by Stanley Kubrick. I mean, once again, iconic character. If you dress up as this character with the jock strap and the boots and the hat and the one pair of fake eyelashes, you know what's happening. You know it's Alex from A Clockwork Orange. Iconic, if you ask me. Iconic.
What a disturbing movie.
Love this movie. Is that wrong?
No, I mean it's Kubrick,
So well done, yeah.
Unless it's a space movie,
and in 71,
it's going to be
like,
disturbing.
Way ahead of his time. If he had the technology and the crews that we have today for movies, our brains physically couldn't handle that, and they would explode upon viewing it. I'm a firm believer in that.
Well, I've seen the Clockwork Orange a couple of times.
Yeah,
like through college and stuff.
Right.
Today, my wife will ask me, "Do you think I would like that movie?"
Nope. No.
Nope.
Because I think now it's just all that stuff. It was terrible, of course. It still is terrible, but it was taken in a different way back then than it is now. And I'll stop talking before it gets deeper.
Do you like watching people's eyelids being tortured?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Just, I mean, I don't know how to say it without sounding like a terrible person, but it was just well done.
Oh, it's a very well done movie.
Yeah.
Maybe Stanley Kubrick is the most demented person on the
That's
list.
possible. Yeah. Very possible.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go a little happier route.
Let's bring it up a notch.
Maybe.
Let's bring it up.
Maybe not. I'm gonna go with Ripley from the original Alien movie.
All of our characters are kind of downers, aren't they?
Yeah, with Sigourney Weaver.
The 70s, not the year of the comedy. We'll say that.
I pick Ripley because rare through the 70s, and even as we'll see through the 80s, do you get a very strong female hero, and you get that with Ripley in Alien. Also, what it did for Sigourney Weaver and how iconic she kind of made that character. And that was the first Alien movie.
Yeah.
And we're getting one this year.
Right.
So it's got some staying power. So yeah, Ripley from Alien.
Yeah.
Definitely on my list.
Very strong female character. Through many iterations.
Yeah. It's funny, when we mentioned Star Wars, we went through all the characters except Princess Leia.
Yeah, I even didn't put Chewbacca on my list because of that reason. Like, he's on my written list, but I didn't say it because I don't want one more male from Star Wars that's not a female. Is that wrong?
Are we sexist?
No, whenever the 2010s come up, I'm sure Ray will be spoken
I
of.
love Luke. We love Darth. Who? Princess Leia? Who?
Well, to be fair, I mean, they were portrayed differently. She was a damsel in distress.
You know,
she fought her own fight.
I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
I would put Princess Leia on my favorite characters list before Luke Skywalker.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You're a little short for a stormtrooper.
I mean, he is the main character. When you say, like, Star Wars was the movie that came out in 1977, he's the main character of Star Wars. You can't not say that.
According to you, it's Anakin Skywalker.
Of the Star Wars series. But of Star Wars, the movie, it is Luke Skywalker.
A New Hope.
Jeez.
Who's next on your list?
I'm going to bring it back down, but I forgot I do have another female on my list. I'm proud to bring this up again.
Oh, okay.
Directed by Brian De Palma, 1976. Sissy Spacek as Carrie. And man,
wow.
Iconic movie for me once again. I had to see this in film school because it was awesome. One of our teachers for screenwriting, her best friend, was Brian De Palma. She brought in Brian De Palma to show us. So the first time I ever saw Carrie, Brian De Palma showing me Carrie for the first time.
Wait a minute, back up. Slowly tell me that story again.
My screenwriting teacher,
right?
Deneen Rowan was her name. She was some kind of screenwriter back in the 70s and 80s. She was a good friend of Brian De Palma's, and she brought Brian De Palma in to show the movie Carrie to us in class.
The first time you watched Carrie,
and I had no idea
was with Brian De Palma.
And I had no idea.
How have you never told me this before?
I know you're a big fan of Carrie.
I'm just a big fan of Brian De Palma.
Yeah, so
Carrie's good.
Yeah, it was cool.
I'm just a big fan of Sissy Spacek.
I guess, my mom is a huge Sissy Spacek fan.
I love Coal Miner's
Daughter. I've seen it so many times. When I think Sissy Spacek, I thought of that character of Loretta Lynn until I saw Carrie. And man, that was something else.
I would say that
once again a good underdog movie.
Sort of. Carrie did for senior proms what Jaws did for sharks.
Right. Yeah. That's true.
Just a bunch of blood and gore.
Yeah. That's true. That was actually the tagline for Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It said, Leatherface does for meat eating what Psycho did for taking showers. Yeah, pretty much. But same idea. I mean, I love Carrie, the buckets of pig's blood, iconic scenes, iconic character. It's kind of a normal high school kid being bullied for the first hour and 15 minutes until the pig blood hits the fan later on.
Yeah.
That's whenever stuff happens.
So to speak.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna start this one, but I want you to actually, because I know this is on your list as well. I have Michael Myers from the original Halloween as one of my favorite characters from the 1970s. He doesn't really say a lot in the movies.
No.
But you do have Dr. Loomis talking about his relationship with Michael Myers.
I met him 15 years ago. I was told there was nothing left. No reason, no conscience, no understanding, and even the most rudimentary sense of life or death, of good or evil, right or wrong. I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
Classic.
I almost have to say, Dr. Loomis may be one of my favorite characters.
Loomis is cool.
From the
Donald
70s.
Pleasance is apparently he's done many other things, but I know him only as Loomis. Only.
Yeah. You talked about Leatherface. The 70s is when we started getting those modern horror icons.
Yeah.
And Michael Myers is definitely on that list.
Yeah, that was the thing back in the old Universal monsters. For the most part, they were disfigured or science experiments gone wrong or some kind of weird act of nature. But in the 70s, this idea of a maniacal masked man came across, and the slasher movie was born because of characters like Leatherface and Michael Myers especially. Just iconic, man. I mean, I have to watch this movie every Halloween season.
I do too. It's not Halloween unless I watch Halloween.
And I just one, but a lot of them.
I usually end up seeing a lot of them too.
Yeah. And each year I have more and more appreciation for the later installments. I'll never make it to Busta Rhymes. I'll watch it, but I'll never get to liking that movie. But I watch them.
I can't get past the one with Paul Rudd.
Oh yeah.
The
Curse of the Thorn comes in.
Yeah,
where
the Curse of the I can't do that.
You kind of forget that Ant-Man isn't a Halloween movie.
That's
sometimes.
true. It's one of his first movies, right?
Yeah, he was young.
Oh, very young.
I think this was pre-Clueless even.
Isn't he trying to protect Jamie's baby?
Maybe.
In that?
It's been a long time. It's been a few years.
And Jamie being Michael Myers' niece.
Right, yeah.
It's her child, right?
Yeah.
That he's trying to protect.
I think.
From the Curse of the Thorn.
So that'd be his great niece?
Maybe it is his great niece.
That's an old Michael Myers. That's what I thought about up until recently. Even like an H2O and those are all like the same Michael Myers character. He's got to be pushing 60 at that point.
He really is. I can't lug this machete like I used to.
Wow. So, I mean, we've got to finish up. Well, not finish up here, but let's talk about Dirty Harry Callahan. How about that?
Oh, I almost put him down.
Give a surprise for that there.
I'm really surprised that Harry Callahan made your list.
Yeah, 1971, Clint Eastwood, iconic character. Some would say Clint Eastwood has many iconic characters, but to me, Dirty Harry, man, he is... Once again, that revenge. I think revenge was a big thing in the 70s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was big.
It was very big.
Yeah, the classic gun and the lines and that Eastwood snarl.
I know what you're thinking, punk.
Yeah.
Did I shoot 5 times or 6?
Mm-hmm.
To tell you the truth, in all the excitement, I kind of lost count myself. So you have to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
See? Iconic line.
End scene.
End scene. There you go. Dirty Harry Callahan. That's all I got to say about that. Classic character.
Yeah, I could have pulled the clip, but why pull the clip when I could just do it?
I thought you pulled it. That wasn't the clip. Oh man, I thought that was actually it.
Yeah, I'm not good.
Wow.
Yeah, big Harry Callahan,
and he's the
Tom
last
Callahan's boy.
He's the last on my list.
That's the last on your list.
He runs it out. Yeah, I have Chewbacca, but we talked about Chewbacca a little bit, so we're good.
Well, I think you have one. Because you had one more.
Yeah, but I'm gonna save that for you.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll do it now, and then I have one more that I want to close with.
Okay.
Actually, I've got a lot more, but that's okay. When you're talking about the brave filmmaking of the 1970s, it doesn't get much braver than Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver and the main character portrayed by Robert De Niro, Travis Bickle. I mean, this guy is just a
psycho
movie psycho on the level of Michael Myers.
Right.
You talking to me? You talking to me? Well, then who the hell else are you talking? You talking to me? Well, I'm the only one here.
If you've never seen Taxi Driver, not really a story of revenge.
No.
But the story of a guy that's crazy, and then that kind of puts him on a path of seeking revenge for really nothing.
Yeah, it's when you describe it, the hero is definitely an anti-hero. You wouldn't think you would root for him.
No, he wants to be like a vigilante.
Right, yeah.
But he's confused in many, many ways. You know what I love about this? My favorite scenes in this movie is when, to just kind of show you the neuroses of this character, when he starts doing his inner dialogue, like I think he's laying out on the couch, and you kind of hear his inner monologue, I guess. And he keeps messing it up and starting over.
Right, yeah.
So in his head, he's wanting to say these things and he can't get it out, so he stops and starts over.
Even there in front of the mirror, he's trying to
yeah, and he's talking there.
Yeah.
But there's one scene where he's kind of laid out, doing lines in his head, and he can't get straight what he wants to say, much like this podcast, and has to start and start over again, or stop and start over again.
Yeah, it's a different as the movie progresses, it gets more and more crazy. It really does.
Yeah.
I mean, you have that the Mohawk transformation, the teenage prostitute played by Jodie Foster.
Yeah, Jodie Foster.
It's pretty twisted.
He's going to kill the president.
Right, yeah.
So weird. Isn't it weird that he plays a character that wants to kill the president, and then in real life somebody got obsessed with Jodie Foster and then tried to kill the president?
Yeah. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
I really forgot about that.
Do you have any honorable mentions?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
All my good ones are taken.
The last one I have a clip for is I wanted to put Gene Wilder on the list, and you would think if I was going to do 1970s Gene Wilder that I would go with
some Wonka.
Yeah, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Oh no, I'm going to go with Frederick Frankenstein from Young Frankenstein.
Dr. Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
You're putting me on.
No, it's pronounced Frankenstein.
Do you also say Froderick?
No, Frederick.
Well, why isn't it Froderick Frankenstein?
It isn't. It's Frederick Frankenstein.
And he's Eeyore.
Right, yeah.
I know you're not a fan.
Yeah, I'll watch it again someday.
But one of my favorite characters from the 70s is Frederick Frankenstein from Young Frankenstein.
Over Wonka, huh?
Over Wonka.
Wow.
Yeah, I could watch Young Frankenstein anytime.
Really?
I have to be in a certain mood to watch Charlie and the Chocolate, or Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
And I guess like a couple of honorable mentions here. Marlon Brando is Don Vito Corleone from The Godfather. I know you don't like the Godfather movies.
Yeah. But they're iconic. Can't deny that.
Yeah, I would think probably Don Vito Corleone is one of the biggest film icons of all time.
Yeah.
And the last one I have down, and it's a tie, and I'm just going to say it's Paul Newman and Robert Redford from The Sting and the characters that they play.
Yeah.
Because The Sting is one of my favorite movies from the 70s. And I love those characters. Robert Shaw's in that movie too.
Really?
He plays the villain.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The one that they pull the wool over with The Sting.
Huh.
And, yeah. So doing a totally different accent than he does in Jaws.
Yeah.
So he's very versatile.
I was trying to see, and all the lists I've made so far in these, I haven't personally had one recurring actor playing multiple iconic characters. You think that'll happen as we progress here? I haven't seen one yet. Will that happen? For the decade.
It almost happened with Jack Nicholson.
Playing which?
If we had 3 hours, if we were doing a 3 hour and going through every one of the characters that we liked from the 70s,
right.
The Jack Nicholson from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest would be on my list, and then he would probably return in the 1980s.
Okay.
In a couple of movies.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact.
Is Nicholson your man? Is he your go-to?
I may have. Did I do it? I don't know. In the 80s, you may have the same actor for two characters.
Okay.
Maybe.
We'll see what happens.
But Han Solo doesn't make my list again.
So,
because I did it in the 70s, so I didn't do it in the 80s.
Yeah.
Even though, truthfully, he would be one of my favorite characters from the 80s.
Well, it's first appearance. If so, we could have almost every day. Yeah, every decade could have some Vader. Every single decade since the 70s.
And Harrison Ford returns to my list.
Oh, no.
That's the one.
Is he the one? Harrison Ford?
Probably Harrison Ford is the one that's 70s and 80s.
I know what you're picking. Yeah, I saved that for you.
Yeah, thanks. Well, you've never seen any of the movies.
It's true.
So there you have it. Just some of our favorite characters, movie characters from the 1970s. Coming up on Tuesday, we'll do the 1980s. And don't forget the Madball contest.
Of course, yeah. At Adam and JP on Twitter. Go to the pinned tweet up top of that profile. Retweet that. Like that, and you'll be entered to win the ultra-rare skull-face Madball. Glows in the dark, That's what I hear. And we know for a fact what's in that blind bag. You can keep it sealed or open it up and play with it if you want. It can be yours. Just retweet that tweet, and it's all yours.
After we record, we can shut the lights off and see if mine glows in the dark.
Have you tried it yet? You
haven't
tried
the
glow? It's fun.
I haven't.
It's fun.
Yeah, check us out. And email us, ajp@adamandjp. Rate and review us on iTunes. And I don't think we're doing the SOB OTW this week.
Right.
Because I figured with the 1980s characters.
Yeah, that list is much deeper.
It's a huge list. But that'll return in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, sure.
But check it all out at adamandjp.com. I'm Jay Patrick. That's Adam.
You are eating your Pod Casserole.
This has been a production of the Adam and JP family of on-demand talk radio.
AdamandJP.com.
Right now.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network, your station for all things geek, classic, current, and beyond. Be part of the crew at ESONetwork.com.